welcome back to Journey into Story. Today I'm going to do my weekly check-in for the week ending July 28th, 2024. I read 3 books and I have about another 150 pages in the 4th book. 2 of the books are going to be discussed better in another video because they're the 2 books that Indy and Sophie picked for me. So they're going to be in the video with me. The first book I read was Pen Pal by Dathan Auerbach, and I'm going to do something a little different. I'm going to try and give a little summary in my own words and not read the book jackets, because what I'm finding is on a few book jackets they kind of give more details than I want to give out, and I don't want to spoil anything. So this book, I wrote a few notes to keep track of my thoughts. First off, I could not put this book down. I read it in one sitting. It takes a lot to creep me out, and this book had the constant creep factor throughout the book. I found it hard to get up and do necessities like eat, let the dogs out, use bathroom breaks. I just wanted to keep reading. I didn't want to even be disturbed by that. The main character throughout the book is unnamed, and he's telling you a story through different chapters, and you're putting together what has happened in his childhood. A few of the characters are his mom, Mrs. Maggie, Veronica, his best friend Josh, and Josh's parents. The main plot, he was 5 years old in kindergarten, and they did a school project where they wrote letters and attached them to balloons, and it said their name, their school, a little bit about them, in the hopes that whoever received the balloon would write back to them. And many of the kids in the class got notes back, and the narrator, he got something else. What I liked, I loved learning the memories of the narrator throughout the chapters of the book. The book jumps around from chapter to chapter, but it's easily understood. I was a bit shocked at the ending. I had to read the ending twice. I could not believe it. And I will read anything from this author in the future. Highly recommend. Kept thinking how happy I was that it was the first read for me, and I didn't get anything spoiled by this book previously. I know many people, from what I hear, love this book now that I've read it, and I give this 5 stars. So Pen Pal, really, really, really great book. The second book I read was Mary by Nat Cassidy, and this is a chunker. This is, I think, 500 pages. No, 402. Hang on. 402 pages. And I also had it on audio, and I think it was like a 15 plus audio book. So I read it and listened to it back and forth. This was what I liked. It's how I could relate to the main character, Mary. She's going through a time of her life. She's turning 50. She's going through perimenopause, and she's talking to doctors about different things that she's experiencing. And I was really surprised to find out that Nat Cassidy is a male author, and he really knocked it out of the ballpark explaining what Mary was going through. And I've waited to a specific time in my life to read this book, and I loved it. I could relate to Mary and different things that she was experiencing. He gave much kindness to that part of life, that phase. I went into the book blind. I didn't even read the back of the book. And this is one reason why I decided to kind of stop reading the book jackets, because I think this book specifically gave a little bit much on what you can expect in the book. All I'm going to say is she goes back to her hometown to help Aunt Nadine. Aunt Nadine is quite the character herself. it's just wild. The also how the book starts. There's a serial killer. He's killing women in a specific way, in a specific age group, and it's very grotesque what he is doing to the women also. So you just kind of see. I think it was in the 60s, and I think it, if I remember correctly, it kind of correlates to when Mary was actually born. That you find out. What I loved the hot flashes in the book, mirrors, murder, voices, writing thoughts down, and loved ones. So I'm not going to go into detail about all of that. Pick this book up. It's an incredible horror book. My only complaint was I felt like it was a bit too long. I think some things were dragged on a bit much. However, I loved it overall. So there were a few times where I had trouble getting through the book because it was so long, but I did overall love it. I'm excited to read Nestlings by Nat Cassidy. I also have that on my bookshelf, and I would read anything that this author writes also. Overall, I did give it 4 stars, and the reason I did give it 4 stars is because it was a bit long in places that I felt like didn't need to be that long. So, but I would recommend anything by Nat Cassidy. The next 2 books, I did read The Resort by Sarah Oakes. This is a book of the month book. I'm going to try and get to at least 2, if not more, book of the month books each month because they're building up on my bookshelf and I really want to get through them. I'm not going to give my rating yet, but this is a book that Indy, my golden retriever, picked for me. And let's just say I gave him an extra cooking when I finished this book. Next video, I will talk about The Resort, and also, so I finished this week, and this book I'm going to hopefully finish today. I think I have about 160 pages left. It's Kill for Me, Kill for You by Steve Kavanaugh, and I have read previous books by this author. This is a book Sophie picked, my lab puppy. So far, I'm not enjoying it as much as The Resort. However, it's getting better now. There was one specific thing in the book that didn't seem very believable, and I'll get into more detail about that in the next video. But I have to finish this book, and then, like I said, I'll do a sit down. They're over here, the puppies. I'll do a sit down with them and discuss my thoughts on both of those books. So I hope you're doing well. Hope you're having fun and enjoying whatever you're reading. And until the next video, bye guys. Have a great day.